Welcome to the Sister Harriet Podcast, where we celebrate the power of showing up. I'm your host, Angela Denise Davis. Savor. S-A-V-O-R. Savor. A couple of weeks ago, I had an opportunity to attend an event at All Saints Episcopal Church here in Atlanta, Georgia. It was an event created by Reverend Kim Jackson, one of the associate rectors at All Saints. She had this idea of inviting Chef Deborah Ventries of Twisted Soul Cookhouse and Pours to be in a conversation with her, moderated by Rose Scott, a local radio personality here on WABE. She hosts a show called Closer Look. And it was that wonderful mix of passion and proficiency as these women talked about their work. And it was just this engaging night where before we had wonderful music by LaTanya Peoples, and the food was great. The community was incredible. The conversation was provocative. And as I sat there and ate this incredible dinner, pickled beets and succulent chicken, succotash and strawberry basil pound cake and peach cobbler, I thought about a time in my life when I was unable to eat. A 6-week period 15 years ago when I couldn't even hold down water. At the end of that period, I was nervous about eating again. I had been sick for so long and unsure about whether or not I could ever eat again. Every night I was hooked up to a machine that fed me intravenously, and it was scary. I remember getting out of the hospital and a friend of mine said, "It's New Year's holiday and you can't stay at home by yourself. It's a bad omen." So she very graciously took me to her house, situated me in her guest room, and I spent the holiday with her and her family. The next morning, after unplugging myself from my bag of nutrition that ran through my body over that night, I awoke to the sound of sizzling bacon, and the smell permeated the whole house. I got up and went to the kitchen, and I could see my friend making her food for New Year's Day. And as she was making the bacon, she would take it and put it aside on a plate to cool. And I said, "Do you think I could just have a little bit of the crumbs?" I begged her, and I took a piece of bacon before she could protest too much. Just a little piece, and I put it in my mouth and I savored it. I held it there with the taste tingling every taste bud in my mouth. I chewed on it with great meditation and I swallowed it. I took another small crumb. And by the time I got to the third, her husband came in, saw what was happening, and became enraged. "What's going on? She's not supposed to have any food, certainly not bacon." He was too late. My friend told her husband that I was far too persuaded. I had reached into the plate before she could stop me, which was true. And we sat there and waited and waited and waited. It didn't come back up. After that 6-week period, those few crumbs of bacon were the first pieces of food I ate. And as I sat at All Saints Episcopal Church in Atlanta that evening, hearing this wonderful conversation, having had this incredible food, I thought about that moment of savoring that bacon. And I realized that I had not savored any part of that incredible meal I just had. I took it all in with such gusto and delight that I forgot to savor each spoonful. And I realized that that's the way life is. We forget to savor things. And the lessons we learn in some of the hardest parts of our lives, we forget to continue to live them out once normalcy sets back in. I was challenged that night to rethink what it means to savor, not just food, but even the idea of being in community with people you love. Savoring is a commitment to time. It is a commitment to attention. And I was challenged to savor even the memory of that time with my friends. Even though I no longer talk to them and I haven't seen them in years, that memory is something that I savored in gratitude for how, at that point in my life, if for no other time, something delicious, and it wasn't just the bacon, but the delicious act of their hospitality fed my soul. What does it mean for us to think about not only food, but our relationships and everything else in this way, to stop and to savor the moment, savor the spoonful, savor the encounter? Savor. S-A-V-O-R. Savor.